Hello aspirants, I welcome you all on the YouTube channel of ANALYST IAS. Our today's topic for topic Decodified discussion is the very important, which is 1 year to the Russia and Ukraine war. So we will see what is important for our aspirant, and we'll also try to cover maximum topics under it. We will see why in news, what was the New START treaty, what is the current status of the war, what is effect of war on the world and India, what is India's stand, location of Nord Stream projects. We will also see geography of the region in which the war is happening, and moreover Putin and Zelensky are going away from each other. We'll start with the slide. By news, in 2022 Russia launched a full-scale military invasion of Ukraine, terming it a special military operation to demilitarize it and denazify it. The conflict has continued for over a year, resulting in the death of more than 150,000 people. The death of the people are more than this. The destruction of infrastructure and no clear winner between the Russia and Ukraine. The ongoing conflict has had adverse effect on the global economy, including that of India. The anniversary of war comes in the backdrop of Russia's withdrawal from the New START treaty. So we'll see what is New START treaty. The name START comes from the original Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty known as the START 1, which was signed between US and the erstwhile USSR in 1991 and came into force in 1994. The START 1, which capped the numbers of the nuclear warheads and intercontinental ballistic missiles that each side could deploy at 6,000 and 1,600 respectively, lapsed in 2009 and was replaced first by a Strategic Offensive Reductions Treaty, which was SALT. It is also known as Treaty of Moscow, and then by the New START treaty. Basically, दोनों countries maximum amount of missiles, ballistic missiles up to 1,600 रख सकते हैं, nuclear warheads up to 6,000. दोनों countries ना deploy कर सकती हैं. That was under the treaty. The New START officially the treaty between United States of America and Russian Federation on the measures for the future reduction and limitation of strategic offensive arms entered into force on February 5, 2011 and placed new variable limits on the intercontinental range nuclear weapons. This is the timeline of the New START strategy. It was signed around here in 1972, and then it came to known as the INF treaty, then it came to known as START 1, then it was SALT, we talked about SALT, and later on it was New START was effective from 2011. Now the Russia has suspended the treaty. Now we will see the current status of the war. The West has recently announced the supply of more advanced weapons to Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin has already reinforced Russian positions along the 1,000-kilometer long front line in the Ukraine. Risks of a direct confrontation between Russia and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, both are the nuclear powers, are also on the rise as the war is extended day by day. Russia has taken substantial portions of the Ukraine territories, including Mariupol. Russia's territorial gains in Ukraine peaked in March 2022 when it controlled some 22% of the pre-2014 Ukraine. Then Ukraine recaptured some of the land in Kharkiv and Kherson, but still Russia controls some 17% of the Ukraine. Russia wanted to install a Moscow-friendly regime and to take the whole of the Ukraine's east and south, stretching from Kharkiv in the northeast through the Donbass in the east, which comprises of Luhansk and Donetsk, to Odessa, the Black Sea port city in the southwest, turning the country into a landlocked realm. This was the strategy of Russia, but Russia has failed to meet any of the objectives. What are the effects of the war? First of all, global supply chains have been hit massively in the last 2 years with the coronavirus pandemic in the early 2020 and the Russia-Ukraine war causing disruptions. It triggered a global food shortage affecting underdeveloped and developing countries the most. However, the global supply chains have returned to the pre-war levels according to the Baltic Dry Index, but still it has not achieved the mark. Here you can see this was the disruption in the global supply chain. You can pause the video and zoom here if you want to analyze more of it. This is of February 2023 and this was the trend of the global supply chain. The food price index of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization is now back at pre-war levels with the cereals prices index at 147.4 in January 2023. Inflation has risen, but wholesale inflation came down in the recent months. The tightening of monetary policy in developed country to combat inflation is expected to lower external demand for India's exports, leading to a GDP growth rate close to 5% in 2023-24 from 7% which was this year. अगर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज अपनी मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी को टाइट करती हैं तो इंडियन एक्सपोर्ट्स उतने नहीं हो पाएंगे, वहां इंपोर्ट नहीं होगा इंडियन गुड्स का, तो वहां से जीडीपी ग्रोथ रेट भी डाउन होना शुरू हो जाएगा. एंड दिस वाज द प्राइसेस of this is the crude price in the green, this is the food price index in the blue, and this was the cereal price index. So you can look towards it as well. The price of India's crude oil basket has fallen appreciably in the recent months and is averaging just above $80 per barrel in February, sharply lower than the $116 in June 2023. During this time, India's crude imports from Russia jumped 9.2% on a monthly basis to a record 1.4 million barrels per day. Russia also took a hit, but it found alternative markets due to the sanctions. Basically, it took the hit. But it found alternative markets for its energy exports in Asia, redrawing the global energy export landscape. In 2022, despite the sanctions, Russia raised its oil output by 2% and boosted the oil export earnings by 20%. Now, this is about the sliding rupee. The widening of the trade deficit puts pressure on the exchange rate, and the Indian currency hit multiple all-time lows against the US dollar in 2022. As a result, Reserve Bank of India had to sell record amounts of foreign exchange from its reserves to decrease exchange rate volatility. However, the central bank maintains that its reserves under $600 billion remain adequate and the exchange rate has retreated below 83 per dollar mark. This is the graph which will show you the sliding rupee. This is in the orange one, this is US DINR rate, and this is the forex reserve in billion. Now, what is the India's stand? Adopting a neutrality, India has maintained its relationships with Moscow while iterating support to global peace. India worked around Western sanctions to buy oil from Russia. As much as 25% of India's oil purchase is now from Russia, from less than 2% before the war. Recently, India abstained on a UNGA resolution on the first anniversary of the war, asking Russia to withdraw from its territory as the resolution had limitations in reaching the lasting goal of securing lasting peace. India has abstained on all three votes so far on the Ukraine crisis at the UN General Assembly since Russia invasion, and India sees G20 presidency as a platform through which it can work towards the peace between the nations. Now we will see about the Nord Stream projects. There are two projects. You can see in the green one, this is the Nord Stream 1 and this is the 2. It runs from the Russia through Estonia, through the Baltic Sea to the Germany. Now we will look towards the geographic importance of the area. So there are Caucasus mountains, there is Pontic steppe here, there is Nobe Delta, you can see here is Black Sea, there are some important rivers like Dnieper, they are draining into the Black Sea. And as you remember, this was the Anatolia plate. Recently, Turkey has been instructed with the earthquake because this was moving northwards and it moved towards westward, which caused the earthquake. Then there are also Carpathian mountains. You can just pause the video. There are also Balkan mountains. You can just focus on these physical features here. Now we will come to our today's prelims practice question. that what did the Bolsheviks rename the Bolshevik party as? First, the Soviet Socialist Party, the Russian Congress of Soviets, the Proletarian Party, the Russian Communist Party. Pause the video, try to answer. So basically, answer to this video, to this question is 4, which is the Russian Communist Party. Now, second question, what date marked the beginning of the Bolshevik uprising against the provincial government? Pause the video, try to answer. The famous October Revolution, it was basically maintained on 24th October 1917. Now we will come to our question number 3rd. Arrange the events in according the chronological order. Pause the video, try to answer in the comment section, research about the topics. This was all about today's video and topic. Stay tuned for the next one. Have a great day.